Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 294. I am Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It is March the 28th,
It is
2016. We're coming up pretty soon on our.
one one year anniversary.
Okay. No, our 6th year. I can't remember exactly when it is. Let me look and see. When we first posted episode 1, April the 4th.
It's like April 10th.
April the 4th.
Oh, okay.
So that will be next Monday. Next Monday will be 6 years. No, it'll start our 6th year. It'll be our 5th complete year podcasting. Right?
Okay. This is the 5th SSK coming up.
Oh.
But we were podcasting at least a year.
Then maybe it's 6
I think this
years.
is our 6th completed year.
Oh, God.
2010 to 2016.
Let's look. April 4th, 2010 was our first episode. So that means, yeah, that'll be our 6th complete year. Jeez Louise. I feel old.
I could do. So Alice, my littlest niece, asked me, they were going to sing me happy birthday, and she asked me how old I was, and when I said 34, she went like that. It was hysterically funny.
She got tutored on that one. I bet you money.
No, I don't think so. You said tutored, and she got a new scooter for Easter.
Oh.
The Easter Bunny bought her a scooter, and the Easter Bunny brought Julia a telescope. So they got cool gifts for
Wow.
Easter.
Their Easter bunny is so much more generous than mine ever was. I got a chocolate bunny, and that was my Easter.
Aww.
But we're also not religious in any way, so it,
I don't think the getting of things is the religious aspect of Easter.
Still.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Anyway, before we go on a tangent that nobody will appreciate,
Let's talk about knitting. Do you want to go first, or would you like me to go
totally
first?
up to you. Mine goes
I just
round
finished
and
a
around
round.
forever, so.
So I just started something new. There's a pink stitch marker on it to remind me that that is the right side. This is, say it, because I always say it wrong.
Dwayne Park Triangle.
Dwayne Park Triangle. This is the very, very start. It goes pretty straight on one side and elongates out on the other. This is the second one of these that I've knit, but the first one out of handspun. My other one's out of Volmisa.
Is this a Kirsten Kapoor?
It is a Kirsten
Okay, that's
Kapoor
awesome.
pattern. It's a wonderful Kirsten Kapoor pattern, and I have this cool woolen spun bat that I spun from Joanna Spring, and it's a 2-color shawl, and that's going to be paired up with this white Clun Forest fiber that I spun from Joanna Spring. So I'm having a Joanna Spring in Spring Palooza. See what I did there?
Joanna Licious.
I kind of wish Joanna Spring would change her Rev name to Joanna Licious now.
That doesn't really, having met her, it just, that's like the furthest thing from how she would describe herself. So it just makes me laugh. But yes. Yeah.
So that's the first thing on my needles. And then the second thing on my needles, and I'm knitting that fairly loose gauge, but it is woolen spun, so it's nice and lofty, and it's going to be super warm. So it's fun. Oh, and I have stitches that are falling off the needles because I didn't use my stitch stopper from Carrie from Jelby. I just threw this in because I was knitting on it at work. All right. Oh, DPNs and my love-hate relationship with you. Is that right? Yeah. So this is Hermione's Everyday Sock. This is the cool zigzaggy side. This is the lame back of the sock side. This is going to be my heel side. And I'm almost to the heel. So it's Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern. And it is out of black petroleum fibers, Merlin sock in the Phantom colorway. Merlin.
Marilyn?
Yeah.
Marilyn? Yeah, I don't know how to say that.
So I could show you this side, which actually doesn't have the price on it, but has the writing much, much bigger. So I'm enjoying it. I'm knitting it on my flip sticks, which are super bent right now. I am going to So this is the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern. It's an actual textured pattern. And once I get past the heel, I'm just gonna flip to a plain stockinette sock because no one sees. I don't wear Mary Janes a whole lot, so no one really sees the inside of my sock.
Yeah.
They get worn with tennis shoes or Uggs or other shoes like Birkenstocks, but not the open toe sandal Birkenstocks, the clog Birkenstocks. Anyway, that's all I got. That's the two things that I'm knitting on. Both green. It is spring. Both fairly fun. This has become like my mindless project, and then the other one's going to be my more pay attention project. And I'm going to cast on something new this week. I'm going to cast on a Sylvia Harding pattern because I'm taking a class with her on Saturday. Oh, Saturday. I have to cast on like 500 stitches for that.
Wow.
And find beads and yarn and all the things. I should get on that.
How's your owl stuff? Are you ready? Isn't it
I'm
end?
done.
Oh, you're done. Oh, good.
Yep, I'm done. I'll show you that under finished objects.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so I don't have a whole lot knitting-wise to show you. It's just been another crazy busy week, and I just haven't had a lot of time to knit. So, and I always feel like I need to apologize for that.
No. Have you been doing other crafting? Or
a little bit, but really it's just I've been getting home late, I've been tired, I've been doing a few things around the house. I just haven't felt like it.
I understand.
So, mostly what I've knit on is Nuvem, and I have spent some time on it. So I think I probably put an inch on either side. It's maybe 10 to 11 inches now. I did put in a little marker, so next
How
week.
wide does it end up getting? Oh, that's a good plan, so we can see your progress.
Yeah.
How big does it end up being? Like 30 inches across?
Freaking enormous. Let's see. I can pull that up and tell you right now. Nuvem. Let me search I love Google Drive, by the way, because I just keep everything in one place. And I can just search for it, and then like magic, there it is. Alright, Nuvem. Finished measurements. Let's go down to her.
Like 70 by something.
Oh god, it's all in centimeters. It's 120 plus 50 on either side, so 170-ish centimeters by 50, and 50 is 100 centimeters. Oh god, convert 175 centimeters.
Welcome to life in the United States.
Sorry, dude. So it's like 68 inches wide by 40 inches deep, roughly. Although
you're adding on both sides as you knit around, you're increasing on both sides.
Yes. So it's kind of like sort of a bloated hexagon. Like it's got that many sides, but it's not all equal. It's a little bit wider. Yeah. Bloated Hexagon is totally the name of the show this week. But I did not do a gauge swatch, and I am not using the weight yarn it calls for, so mine will probably end up a little bit bigger. And that's okay, because it's a shawl, so it doesn't really matter.
No, and I like big shawls that I can wrap up in.
And I cannot lie. Yes, so I'm knitting on 3.75 millimeter needles. I'm knitting it out of Plucky Classics, a 50-50 silk merino blend. This is what's left of the first skein. I'm almost done with it. And it is Funny Affair at Tiffany's, the colorway, which was a reference to Breakfast at Tiffany's, An Affair to Remember, and Funny Lady, or Funny something. Funny Lady? Is that a movie? Now I can't remember.
Funny Face.
Funny Face. Thank you. Gosh, terrible. Anyway, so that's all the knitting that I've been working on this week that I remember. What about you? Oh, you already did knitting, but you have finished things.
I do. I have one finished thing. Completely done. Blocked, ends woven in, everything. And it is Puddle Duck.
Ooh,
Now I
pretty.
am going to throw it in the dryer because it's still slightly damp.
Mm-hmm.
And I want it to like, it's super washable, so I want it to pull up a little bit because it's a little bit longer than it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because superwash yarn grows. So this is for Alice, the smallest of the Linneman clan.
For now.
Um, for now. And it is Petal Duck. It is the paid for pattern. It is knit top down raglan style. You can see my cool raglan increases there. And then there are some like waist shaping and then it bells out a little bit. Versus traditional, it
So
doesn't go
it's like
out
an
in the
A
neck
line,
end.
sort of.
Or yeah. And it's got this slip stitch detail that goes down the center, which is super fun. And it shows up really well. This is a great pattern if you have variegated worsted. It comes in a wide range of sizes. I did not quite get gauge. I was a little bit under. So I kept it on size 7 needles instead of size 8s. And I went up like a size. Does that make sense?
Like a
Like
written
instead of knitting the
size.
6-year-old
Right.
size for my to be 5-year-old niece, I knit the 8-year-old size.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's like a tunic length and it's got little pockets.
So they can wear it with leggings. So she
Yeah,
can wear it with leggings.
there's the back side of my pocket. Two things that I did different. Two things? Yes. I did two things different. But in regards to the pockets. So I started it as written. So you bind off these stitches. Well, you put stitches on holders. I'm sorry. And then you recast on, and the stitches you put on the holders, let me hold this a different way. The stitches you put on the holders is the pocket lining.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you recast on, you knit all the way down. What she has you do is she has you knit all the way down and bind off and then knit the pocket linings on the same size needles and then just finish the linings and seam everything down. What I did, because I hate seaming, I did twofold things. So I decided that I wanted my pockets to be tighter than the outside fabric. So this is pretty loose fabric, but I know my niece and she likes to shove stuff in her pockets. So I wanted the lining to be a little bit tighter so that I should have probably done that on this side too. But I wanted the lining to be a little bit tighter so stuff wouldn't fall through, like poke her. Does
Mm-hmm.
that make sense?
You wanted it more dense.
I did. So I went down to size 5 needles instead of the 7s that I used for the rest of the sweater. Um, and I knit those down before I knit the rest of the sweater. Does that make sense? So I knit the linings first,
Mm-hmm.
using these other needles. Double points, actually, for being specific. It has you cast or increase on each side, so you get a nice like seam allowance to sew with. I increased 2 on each side, so 4 stitches total.
Mm-hmm.
So because I went down that needle size, I wanted a little bit of extra fabric. Does that make sense too? Because when I switch gauge, it would bring it in. So I wanted a couple extra stitches. So that I would still have a seam allowance to sew down. And then instead of just knitting the pocket lining and sewing that down, I knit both of these till I was around a ½ inch shorter than I wanted the finished piece to be. And knit those two together across the bottom. So when I got to those, I would knit from the stitches on the holder, the pocket lining stitches, and the outer stitches, and knit those 2 stitches together.
So like a 3 needle bind off.
Yeah, but without binding off. And then just did another ½ inch and bound off. She wanted you to use Elizabeth Zimmerman sewn bind off. With the Elizabeth Zimmerman sewn bind off, you have to pull out all this yarn and then cut it and then seam through.
I'm not a big fan of that one.
It is a very stretchy bind off, but I didn't feel like this needed a whole bunch of stretch because it is A-line.
Yeah.
And it's garter stitch, so it naturally has a lot of stretch. So I did the knit 2 together through the back loop bind off.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that on the sleeves as well, which have that little garter detail as well. This yarn did bleed a lot. It's Miss Babs Yowza. And what's nice is I could get this whole sweater I probably had 20 yards left over.
Hmm.
So out of around 500 yards, I could get this whole sweater. for Ella size, and I actually have two more skeins of Yowza, and I'm tempted to knit her a second one. I'm gonna see how this one goes
Yeah, I
first.
would say if she wears it a lot, then why not?
Yeah, and it's supposed to be Christmas, but I might give her and Julia their Christmas sweaters in May at Maryland Sheep and Wool instead, and then knit them other sweaters for Christmas.
Setting expectations.
It's nice to give random sweaters.
It is. It's nice to give random things. I will not argue with you there.
But I think it'd be too large anyways. Like it's definitely a next fall thing. So I might give them to them as like a fall thing. So both sweaters are done. The shawl for the owl was already done and it's lost in the luggage, which still has not returned, and we're not going to discuss. So at least I took photographs of it and turned in
Mm-hmm.
for my 50% before. So I have photographs, so it's done in the owl. So the owl's done. I just have to photograph the other two sweaters and do the final write up, and it's good. We're good. So yay, done. And I have a project for this month done too. So actually I have four projects for this month done. Because I have some other stuff as well. Did you have any finished objects? Nope. Yeah, you have embroidery
Not
panel.
knitting, but I have some embroidery that's
I want to
finished.
see your embroidery.
I did a little bit of this
A
on
little bit of this and a
Saturday.
little bit of that.
Uh, yeah,
Were you
so
shaking it like a Polaroid picture?
I was not shaking it like anything. I was lazing it. No, I sat Saturday. I watched movies and documentaries, and really just took a super lazy day to catch up from all the overtime I've been doing at work and
Yeah. Sometimes you just need that mental
a bunch
health
of
day.
crazy stress stuff. So, I finished this Sashiko, which I had
Ooh, that's
started a while
pretty.
back. Um, I think I might actually frame a couple of my Sashiko pieces rather than try to figure out what to use them with. Um,
Small pillow. That would be the perfect small pillow.
yeah, I like it, but if you're grossed out by animal stuff, then just skip the next minute or so. My one cat takes invitation for anything soft that resides in the living room, only the living room, not bedrooms or bathrooms or anything else. Anything soft in the living room, she decides is a litter box.
Oh, Sammy?
Yes.
Hmm.
Only the living room, though. I do not know why. There's not even a litter box in there. We have 5 litter boxes in this house for 3 cats, by the way. So it's not that they don't have enough. Trust me. Um,
But it doesn't matter because I have three litter boxes for one cat and
yeah,
he still doesn't use them.
yeah. So I hate to invite ruin.
Yeah,
So I'm just not sure. I haven't decided, but I'll do something with it.
it's
I got
pretty.
this one from Pearl Soho in New York City. I linked it. The samplers themselves, if you get the pre-printed fabric, are usually like between $8 and $10.
Yeah.
You could do it yourself with chalk and any fabric, but
Or
um,
fabric, those like embroider or not embroidery. They make special like washable pens that you can use
yeah,
too.
they're made out of. Well, some of them have chalk, some of them have that. Yeah, that washable ink. Um, yes, you could do either one. And then I started and finished this piece. This actually took most of yesterday.
Oh,
This is from House of Whimsy,
that is
which is the
amazing.
same place as where I got the pig with the pillows. I haven't done anything with this yet. That's why it's
Oh,
still sitting here. So, I like this darker canvas fabric better than I like white. So,
yeah. I love that. That's amazing.
good because it's totally your birthday present.
Oh, good. Yay.
It's got to get framed, but it's a size that I should be able to find relatively easily. But yeah,
That makes
purple
me
octopus. All these tiny little blue sucker pods were such a giant pain in the butt, but that's okay.
It's a
So
good
he's
thing you love me.
he's got coffee and he's got knitting and he's got scissors.
He's got some balls of yarn.
Yeah, some yarn balls. He's got embroidery, although I know that's not your thing, but it was in a pattern, so I did a lot of different stitches on this. It was actually pretty fun to do. Um, the little details just took a lot more time than I thought they would. So it's still
Yay,
wet
something new
because
for my house.
I had used the water soluble tracing
Yeah.
paper, and so it's still wet because I had to wash that off. And once it dries, then I'll tack it to a hard background and go
Cool.
frame shopping. And so that'll be some new art for the walls
For
for Laura's
Shayla.
house.
Yeah, cool.
And yeah, that's it. I haven't spun anything this week. I did think about spinning, but I didn't get any further than that.
I did spin. Because my fiber stash is really out of control right now. I'm trying to spin down a pound a month. And I told myself, I made a deal with myself at the beginning of the year. I get a pound of fiber a month coming in clubs, and I wanted to at least be meeting that pound, if not exceeding it. So for January and February, I hit that pound. And I told myself if I couldn't hit it, then I needed to lose a club.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm in 3 clubs, but one's a double. So, um, it's March and I'm at 8 ounces done. So if I can by Thursday get another 8 ounces spun,
You could if you did it like super thick.
we'll see. I think I might lose one anyways. Like I'm
Can you
gonna
just take
talk
one
to
down to a single?
yeah, I'm gonna take Southern Cross, so I get both Southern Cross colorways right now. I'm gonna contact David, I think, and take it down to a single. And then I've been in Into the World for a really long time, and I'm starting to feel guilty because I'm not spinning up as much. I love Chris and James,
Mm-hmm.
love them. But I know they have a wait list for most of their clubs. So like I feel like I'm taking a spot that someone else who doesn't know how awesome their
Yeah.
stuff is could have. I think I'm gonna hold off and talk to her at this point because they bill a month ahead of time, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
already in April. And if I wait like 4 more days, then they'll bill me for May. So I'm already basically to May, and I might talk. I'm like I might talk to the Maryland
Yeah.
Cheapable, but then I'd be on the hook for 2 more.
Well, but
Like the time
still.
just keeps going. But I want them to know that it's not
Well, and
them.
that's when
It's
I quit.
totally me. I'm totally breaking up with Chris and James,
When I
but
quit
it's
all my
not them.
clubs, that's what I sent her a note and I said, "Look, I don't want you to think this is me like saying I don't like you anymore and we're not friends and all that." I was like, I can't keep up. And she had a waiting list then too, and I was like, people deserve to get this fiber that are actually going to spin it. And luckily,
Yeah.
Chris and James are pretty regular at trade shows, so we can get their stuff there.
Yeah, and they update at least once a month too.
Yeah.
Um, and they're just wonderful, nice people. And so are the other 2 people that I
Mm-hmm.
have clubs from, which is Southern Cross Fiber, which is David, who's amazing as well, and an amazing dyer, and then Adrian of Hello Yarn. Um, with those, like I waited like 6 years to get into both of their clubs, so like that's almost cold dead hands. Like I'll go down to one for David, but what I might do is I might have take Chris take me out of the club and then just get back on her wait list. So that'll give me like
Yeah.
however long her wait list is to
To
catch
cycle
up.
through to the end.
Um, I don't know. I've got a lot of fiber that I would love to. It's so pretty. I want to spin it all
Mm-hmm.
and knit with all of it. So I'm gonna also try to knit with more hand spun too. First world problems of a knitter slash spinner,
That's a fact.
but
But you did do some spinning, right?
I did. That's the
That's
whole
where we started.
refocusing back to there. I did finish some Southern Cross Fiber for last month's Patreon person,
Oh, that turned
which
out really lovely.
I need you to send me her address because I don't have it.
I totally already emailed it to you, but
Nope,
I will
I
forward it to
didn't
you.
get it. But if you want to email it to me again, that would be wonderful. She's on Instagram and we've been chit chatting. So this is Southern Cross Fiber, and I can't. It's BFL, and I can't remember the colorway, but his stuff is always so pretty, always, always, always. And I got around. Oh, I wrote in the show notes. 360 yards of a 2-ply. So this is a 2-ply. It hasn't had its bath yet. So I finished it. I finished playing earlier in my Lendrum, and I only had like 4 inches left on one bobbin at the end.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm never, ever, 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 ever that close.
About one out of every 500 spins, I get that close. So that just happened to work out. And I don't feel like it, like sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I was so consistent throughout the whole thing. No, I don't feel like I was that in this case, but I think it came out really well. Washing will be the end thing. And then I have these bats that were just hanging out in my kitchen and have been since yarn school, just sitting in a bin. And so I had made them at yarn school, so I decided to spin them up
Hmm.
together. So they are floofy and fluffy, and this is around 280 yards of a two ply. This is around, I weighed it earlier, it's actually 4.5 ounces.
Wow.
So it's nice and floofy, and it'll be like a good hat or something else. Something with a lot of texture, because I wasn't trying to be consistent with it because there was so much texture going. This was like total kitchen sink bats. Like I just kept throwing
Yeah.
stuff in different types of fiber, which you can kind of see. Um, so lots of fun, lots of sparkle. I do love some sparkle, but
So
yeah.
are
So
those two your 8 ounces that you
that's
spun
my
for the
eight
month?
ounces for this month.
Hmm. Okay.
So yeah, maybe I'll get more done. I am course spinning some wire. So that is a present for a friend. But it's very slow going because I like coarse spinning wire. It's really, really cool and it's a very cool technique. But because I have to wind everything on by hand, it hurts my hands after a little while. Because it doesn't just, the wheel doesn't grab it in because it's wire. So you have to hand wind on.
Oh.
You do with Christmas lights too.
Yeah, I'd never spun the Christmas lights, so.
But usually it's like, 5 feet, so it's not a big deal. But I'm spinning a whole hobbledehoy batling. When I ordered last time, she sent like one extra
Mm-hmm.
batling, which is about this size. You can kind
Yeah,
of
it's
see.
usually like a half an ounce or something.
Yeah, not. It's probably like 10 grams. But it's lasting quite a bit because you use less fiber when you coarse
Yeah,
spin.
it takes
So,
forever to get through fiber when you core spin.
yep. So it's interesting. And then I have the wool pierogi roll eggs that are up next to be worked on. So that's it for me for spinning. We do have a wonderful collection to review. It is Coffee with Cece by Cece Allman. Cece does a podcast with her daughter, which is super, super cool. This book retails
You have to
for,
say what the podcast is. It's Geeky Girl Knits, right?
I believe so,
It's Geeky Girl something. I'm sorry.
Geeky Girls.
I haven't listened or watched to any podcast, even my favorites, in months. So, um, let's see. Yep, Geeky Girls Knit. That's it.
Yeah, we're terrible that we can't remember
We are
podcast
terrible. Sorry.
names.
That's not. It's
We're
not an
terrible in
intentional
general.
slight. It's just brains aren't here. So yes, Miss
more
Cece.
more
This is
coffee is
Cece.
needed. So can I get it to go? Yeah, coffee with Cece.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to go sideways because that's how my iPad is rolling right now with
So
trying
there
to share.
are 7 patterns. 6 are sock patterns, and one is a shawl pattern. They're all sort of themed towards
Coffee
flavors of
based.
coffee.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the sock patterns, this is really cool, are written from the toe up and the top down, magic loop style. So, and they've got a really cool, like the more coffee cups they have. So the first one is French vanilla cappuccino socks, and she goes through how to measure
Yep.
yourself. And then there's difficulty levels that are coffee cups, which is super, super
Yeah,
cute.
from 1 to 5. That's
So one
explained
is
in the
the
back.
easiest. Yep. And then the first one is just basic. This is how you knit a top
Mm-hmm.
down. This is how you knit a toe up. Very cute. And everything, all the photographs are staged with like a cup of coffee, typically the flavor for that. The second pattern is actually my favorite pattern in the book, and I can actually see myself, or I can see myself, not actually, I'm using the word actually a million and a half times, but whatever. I can see myself knitting these with self-striping a whole bunch. These are the espresso macchiato socks,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a lace pattern that flows through the middle of the lines of the
Yeah,
sock,
so
which
it's
is
designed to
really
be used with self-striping. And so
yep.
you pick a color or multiple colors, and on that color stripe, you do a very simple lace pattern.
which I haven't seen before. It's a basic thing, but a very, very cool thing.
Hmm.
All these patterns are both charted and written for the most part, so you can see both. This third pair of socks is Peppermint Mocha,
I
which is
think
like
these are probably my favorite.
that
Um,
has a slip stitch that
yeah,
moves in a
spiral,
diagonal spiral.
like candy cane, like a
Yeah.
peppermint stick. Just
Ooh, this would
twirl.
be fun to knit out of like a peppermint stick colorway.
Yeah.
That
So
would be fun.
again, they're written toe up and top down. It is a simple slip stitch pattern.
The charts are nice and big.
Mm-hmm.
The toe up always comes first, I think, for the most
Yeah,
part.
it looks like it.
Um,
The only thing I wish this book, I wish that each pattern had more pictures, and bigger pictures, especially in an ebook. You have a little bit more wiggle room. So I
now
wish that there were bigger pictures.
this is available as both an ebook
Mm-hmm.
and a
Printed.
printed book. So it could be for the printed book, but I'm sure if you go on Ravelry, there's tons of more pictures. The shawl I really, really like. This is Coffee Date Shawl. I might use my three colors that I really like together that I just bought in Portland for this. So it is a larger shawl. It uses three skeins of fingering weight in three different colors.
Yeah, it's got textured sections in different colors. Um,
The schematic looks like this, so you can kind of see what the layout is of it.
yep.
So it's like an elongated, very large triangle,
Mm-hmm.
67 inches across, 38 inches down, so you can really wrap it around yourself quite a lot. Then there are the strawberries and cream frappe socks.
Which are a 4 out of 5 on the difficulty. It's got some um, cabling on there. Again, the charts are very easy to read.
I like the fact that the book starts with the easier projects
Mm-hmm.
and moves its way back to the more difficult projects.
Yeah.
I also like how like the super important things she has because pink's her favorite, Cece's favorite color. She has like, hey, you should pay attention to this. It's highlighted in pink,
Yeah.
which is a very easy visual way of showing changes in things. And then there's the I Love You More Than Pumpkin Spice Socks, which has a cable motif that runs down the middle.
She did it in alternating colors of
Mhm.
yarn. So you can see that in the last picture.
It looks like afterthought heel socks
Mm-hmm.
almost, or short row. I'll have to look and see. Now I'm curious.
Yeah, it
Heel.
doesn't expressly say, but it looks
It's a
like.
wrap and turn. It's a short row.
Okay.
So short row heels. And that's it. I love at the very back there is a picture of all the socks on top of the shawl.
Mm-hmm.
Super, super cute. So this book was sent to us. This collection was sent to us. I would say it's a book. It is a book. This book was sent to us for review from CC. It retails for $16 for just the digital and $18 for the book and the ebook, which you can buy together on her website. So thank you. It's a nice little collection.
Yeah. There's several pairs of socks
And
that
you
I
can
think I would get.
definitely see the influence of the coffee throughout, which is nice.
And the
It's
patterns are
very.
available separately as well, aren't they?
I
I'm gonna
don't
pull that
know.
up and check. I'm pretty sure that they were. I know they were available to download separately.
Yes,
Um,
when you download, which is really nice. So when you get the digital version, you can download the entire book like we did, or you can just download the individual patterns, which is a super nice feature.
let's see if you can download them separately. Yeah, you can download them separately. Like you can
Cool.
purchase them separately if there's only like one particular pair of socks you wanted to make.
Or the
Um,
shawl. Yeah.
whew. Sorry, I was on Ravelry, and so my pattern highlights came up, and one of the pattern highlights is a crocheted nightie that apparently Ravelry thinks I would like to knit to make. So that's interesting.
That is interesting. I love some of the recommendations that
Yeah.
you get on Ravelry. So we do have a question. This question is from 5493. She said, I have a question about increases. I've recently started making toe-up socks, and I've noticed several patterns that call for a make one left and a make one right increases to shape the toe. I find that I prefer knit front and back as an increase method. Preach on, sister. So, my question, are increase methods interchangeable? The answer to that is sometimes. So, this is all my personal
yeah,
bias. This
ditto.
is totally a personal opinion. Technically, they're not interchangeable because make ones right and left have a different. So when you knit in the front and the back of the stitch, you're taking one stitch and you're manipulating it. You're enlarging that stitch below to create two stitches above. Does that make sense? So you're knitting through the front and the back, and it causes a little bump, so you can see the bump, which I like on the toes of my socks because then I can be like, oh, crud, I forgot to increase for 5 rows because I was talking to someone. I need to rip back because I can see or not see those little bumps. Um, but when you knit things like shawls that need more flexibility to be stretched, then you need to use the make one right and make one left have a little bit more give to them. The most give is like when you do an E-loop cast on, like the over the thumb cast on as
Yeah.
an increase, that has the most stretching. Or a yarn over, which is why you see yarn overs in shawls a lot, but they form holes. So it's a lot of random information. I'm just
I base my
brain
decision
dumping.
usually on what I'm knitting. So, and the fabric. If I'm knitting garter stitch, I don't care what increase it tells me to use. I'm knitting front and back. I just don't care because you're not going to be able to see it.
Yeah.
And it just, I'm not going to go through the extra effort of remembering which is make one right and which is make one left if I can just knit front and back.
It's whatever way your needle points.
Just
Your needle
don't give
points.
me this
Whatever.
crap because then I'm going to
You're
forget the way that I have it remembered,
referring.
okay? Um, if it's smooth stockinette fabric, I usually do not do knit front and back. I'll usually do the make one right or left because that keeps the fabric looking smooth and you don't get that
And
bump
it
on the
also
front.
does it can make really nice
Yeah,
looking.
it directs the flow of your knit stitches
Yeah.
better than I think a knit front and back. Um,
Well, with make one right and make one left, you can actually choose the
mhm,
directionality that your stitches are slanting when you make them, which you can't do with a knit in front and back.
yeah. Um, I don't know. I guess my way is lazier than a lot of people's. I just look at it, and if I can tell that there's going to be, like, if I'm making a garment and a knit
Hmm.
front and back is going to show, then I won't use a knit front and back. I'll use a make one right or left. Yarn overs, I never do unless it's expressly written in the pattern as part of a lace design because they do leave a hole.
Hmm.
You can come back on
You
the
can
next
come
row
back
and
on the next
twist
row and
it.
knit through the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, sneaky.
But I am also forgetful and would just keep on knitting thinking it was part of the
Hmm.
pattern. So, um,
And that's one way to do like a decorative double increase is a double yarn over and the knit and purl on the back of
yeah.
it when you do. So there is a really big, huge, awesome book that goes really into the pros and cons of every single increase and decrease, and that is the Principles of Knitting. You can get a digital form of it as well, but it's a really, really good book, and that goes into a
I
ton of
also
detail about
really
that.
like Judith Durant's.
Oh yeah, the increases and
Hmm.
decreases book.
So it's on spiral bound and it will lay flat and it takes you through the benefits of every single
Mine is
increase
right
and
here
decrease
too.
and what it looks like.
Yeah,
So if it's something that you struggle with, this is $15 that will last you forever.
and
So
it's small enough that it can be thrown in a bag.
yeah, yeah, it's
Sure.
hand sauce.
Hand sussed. So I have not been reading anything really. I've just been chilling. I have family in town. My parents are here. They just walked in the door actually. I think my mom's making dinner because I'm in here recording and
Wow,
I'm a terrible hostess.
that must be nice.
It is nice. She cleaned my linen closet yesterday because she didn't like how I had it organized. So it got all re-cleaned and reorganized. It was very nice. I like it when my
I
mom
can't wait till
comes.
I live near Mama Linneman again.
And then
even though she's not technically there, but
she's not there, but she visits. And so Wheezy is also with her, and he came and sprayed all my weeds outside today too.
Weezy's not good at just sitting.
No, he's not. We can so we were watching Murder She Wrote because I enjoy Murder She Wrote. And after two, Wheezy was like, I call done. He also said like that Jessica Fletcher was a serial killer because everyone around her is always dying, and it's probably her.
I don't know who Jessica Fletcher is, but okay.
It's the main. It's whatchamacallit's character from Murder She Wrote.
Oh,
Angela Lansbury. So then we watched Rockford Files instead. Have you ever watched Rockford Files? Oh, you need to talk about 70s tastic with
I'm not
nice,
really into like the crime
tight leisure suits
drama thing.
Anyway, so we watched a couple of those last night, and it was hysterically funny.
I watched Magic Mike XXL this weekend.
See, I'm
so much funnier and like easier to watch, less cringy than the first one.
Oh, that's good.
They mock themselves, they make fun of themselves. It's much less painful to watch than
because I think we got through like 30 minutes of the first one, and I was like, "Yep, I'm done. I'm going down to read."
Yeah, it was terrible.
So you have been reading stuff though.
I have. Most of it I won't bother listing because it wasn't worth rereading, but I am listening to Harmony Black, which is a sort of paranormal. I'm only like an hour into it, so I haven't quite figured it out, except Harmony Black is this person who works on one of those 3-letter divisions, FBI, CIA, but it's an unknown security. Underground paranormal.
Ooh, it's like X-Files?
Yes.
Ooh.
And she's a witch, and they're using her skills to find, and I'm not making this up, the boogeyman.
It's Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
And done.
But the boogeyman is this child-stealing entity, essentially, who stole Harmony's little sister.
Ooh.
When she was little, so there's that personal involvement. So I'm only a little bit into it, but it's good so far. And
it's got the Audible for free with it through Kindle Unlimited. Interesting.
I love that. And then I'm rereading a male romance called Middle of Somewhere because the sequel just came out. It was good. It had like a lot of meat to it. It wasn't just
fluff.
Yeah, I had some meat to it. It was good. So I'm rereading it so I can read the sequel and remember who people are. But that's pretty much it.
Cool. I have DFW coming up this weekend. I will be there Friday morning, and I will be hanging out, just wandering around the market Friday. And then Friday night, I have a ticket to go listen to Sylvia Harding talk about the history and the art of mending, which is super cool. There's a book signing that a bunch of people like Susan B. Anderson and Laura Nelkin and Rami Hill, they'll all be at that book signing. I don't think I'm going to drag my books with me.
Because you're flying, right?
I'm flying. Yeah. And I'm not checking a bag. I think I would rather ship. I think I would rather, like, the post office and I also have a very contentious relationship this past month. But I think I would actually trust their tracking, which they lie about, over Southwest at this point. I don't know. I've explained my whole Lost Acreworks bobbin, right?
Yes, I think so.
Did I on the podcast?
I know you did to me. I can't remember if you did on the podcast, but
anyway, that's the second lost package that I've had from the post office in the past month. So it happens. Whatever. Things happen. It'll be fun. Best birthday month ever.
You're getting old. It doesn't matter anymore.
It's like karma's just crapping on my head now because it's my birthday month this month. So I will be at DFW. I will not have anything to give out because it's all still in my luggage with Southwest. All our tape measures, but we should order something for Maryland to give away.
You have to remind me when we're not podcasting. and then
Yes, I will. I'll text you later. But speaking of giveaways, so anyway, if you see me at DFW, please come up and say hi. I'll give you a hug if nothing else. Um,
she offers free selfies.
I do offer free selfies. And even if you don't want a selfie with me, if you just hand me your camera, you'll probably get a selfie with me because I'm egotistical and think everything's about me.
I think that's pretty funny. Selfies with Laura. Hashtag selfies with Laura.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Hashtag selfies with Lala.
Go.
That would be hilarious. So if you do see me, please stop me and say hi. I love seeing people. I'm an extrovert 99% of the time. So it'll be fun. Unless my luggage gets lost again, like if they make me gate check or something.
If you gate check, you're pretty safe. Because, like, the plane is right there. They physically just throw it down the chute and then put it on the plane. You're relatively safe with gate checking. You can look at me like I'm crazy, but like usually they like within 5 minutes it's on the plane.
Okay. I'm developing trust issues. So I'll be at DFW and we'll both be at Maryland Sheep and Wool, which is going to be super fun. It always is. And if you see us there as well, you should come say hi. We might have more than hugs and selfies to give you if I remind Leslie to order stuff. Um, there's a podcaster meetup at DFW as well. And I'll be in that. And I'll be in class Saturday morning with Sylvia Harding. And then I'll be around Saturday after the podcaster meetup. And then Sunday morning, I fly back to Memphis so that I cannot anger the Humberto by being gone too long.
You actually get in before midnight.
I know. This is the only trip because Maryland I get back in at midnight too, but that's just because I want to spend as much time with you as I possibly can. We have the Craft All the Things, new technique, Craft All the Things. Will end March 31st, which is Thursday. I will close it Friday morning, probably in the airport as I'm hanging out. If I don't, then as long as you post by, I can see timestamp. Yeah, I can see timestamp too. But also the SSK knit along closes at midnight on March 31st as well. So like as it flips over to April 1st. So if you're involved in that as well, that would be a good time to post. And then the new SSK knit along will start up the next day, I believe. Let me check my... So if you are going to SSK, this is a random SSK, there is an announcements thread where we post all the basic things, including the knit-alongs, and Baby Cocktails is finishing up, and then Mercedes Knits, who's Mercedes...
Tarasovich Clark.
Thank you. I always say her name wrong. That one starts 4/1 through 5/31.
Yeah, and the boards are usually quiet until a couple months before SSK, and then it like ramps up and people get really chatty. So,
we're a pretty quiet bunch right now. We do have 2 giveaways to do. We have a contest for Masterpiece Knits, which I forgot to draw for last week because we'd just gotten back from Portland.
Yeah, I'm
gonna lock that. I already locked it.
All right.
Yep. I'm a quick moderator.
Yeah, you are.
It's something. There are 213 posts.
And so this is for a copy of the Masterpiece Knits.
And the yarn to make the stunning laundress sweater. That gorgeous, like, yellow sweater that's in there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, like, a wonderful, wonderful contest.
So 218, you said?
213.
213, sorry.
And not include, 213. So it'd be 2 through 213. Right.
So 2 through 213. I haven't pushed the button. Drumroll. I can't do that and push the button at the same time. 78, which should be on the 4th page.
4th?
So this person wins a copy of the book plus a kit to do the laundress sweater.
It is Hattie's Pearls. Ooh, and she did a gorgeous painting that she posted, Christina's World. I've not seen that one before, I don't think.
Oh, awesome.
That is, I'm clicking your love button right now. I am going to go ahead and I do have a notes section on my new fancy laptop, so I can put a note in there.
How novel. All right,
Why
I'm
are
going to
you?
lock the TheKnitGirls
Okay. Ooh,
Designs
that was so pretty.
thread. And that is for a giveaway of this lovely pendant from TheKnitGirls Designs. Terralay Designs. Sorry.
And he hand weaves everything.
Yes, with thread. It's absolutely amazing. And he sells his stuff on Etsy as well. So, all right. So it looks like on this one we have 87 entries.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do
So 2 through 87.
87. Done. Okay. So I have not pushed the button. I'm always afraid people will think I'm cheating. I promise I'm not. Oh my God! Would you freaking give me a result? It's just going in a circle.
It's thinking about it and thinking
There we
about
go. 55. So that's the third page.
55. 55 is Junior Bird Kid
Wow, cool.
from, I don't know, but she's Angela. Oh, from Vermont. Angela from Vermont.
Bird Kid. Oh, okay, yeah.
Junior
Does this
Bird
rainbow
Kid.
make my black look big? Yeah, that was like frequent. Like that was a common one.
Oh, the White Birch Fi. I
Yeah.
love her names for her stuff.
Yeah, it's really sarcastic and
My
smart
rainbow is
aleck.
better than your honor student.
Some were a little bit gross. Like not white birch. I mean, some of the entry names in the
Yeah.
thread. Some of them were a little bit gross, but those gross things do occur. So, and a couple I clicked on because they were just really good names. So J.R. Bird Knit. What is her real name? Angela. So Angela, send me preferably an email. You don't call me Les, same as my username at gmail.com or Leslie
Yeah.
at TheKnitGirls.com. Either one of those. Just email me and give me your physical address, and I will make sure that this gets sent off to you. And thank you for entering.
Awesome. Oh, my winner person, whose name I've already forgotten. Who was it? Hattie's Pearls. Just send me your name and your address, and I will relay that along to the lovely people at Dragonfly Flappers.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I'm very discombobulated today. I must go eat birthday cake. So,
How many pieces of birthday cake have you had?
2 today. Breakfast and lunch. Let's not be. Oh, actually,
Delicious.
yes, it is delicious. Other perk of mom visiting.
Yeah.
She makes very good cake. This is my 1, 2, 3, 4 cake that we've discussed in previous years. So, thank you so much to Patreon supporters. We
Yes.
will be doing a drawing for both the
Hands
Craft All
on.
the Things
Yes.
and the Patreon people next week.
Yes.
So it's never too late to support us on Patreon as well. And we do appreciate all our supporters.
Genuinely, whether it's $1 or $5 or whatever, we sincerely appreciate
Whatever it is.
Yes.
So thank you so much. And thank you everyone who donates as well through our PayPal donation button that we have on the website.
Yes.
Appreciate that extremely,
It has helped us
extremely.
a lot over the 6 years that we have been, almost 6 years we have been doing this, to help pay for equipment and the computer and all the different fancy crap we need to make sure that this gets out every week. So
And paying for the website and everything else. So thank you all so much. We will see you next week. We will record probably on Sunday because I'll be home.
yeah, we'll see how Laura feels after traveling, but it'll be Sunday or
It's
Monday.
only an hour plane ride,
Oh,
so it's not too bad.
okay.
Yeah, I can get to Chicago and Dallas within an hour plane ride. Not in the
Fancy.
same plan. They're going different directions.
But the next time we record will be our 6 years.
Oh my goodness, we're so
Crazy,
old.
right? All right,
Ah.
well, you guys have a lovely week. Those of you going to DFW have a fantastic time and buy all the things.
Oh,
And-
people who are going to Stitches South and
Yes.
DFW.
I forgot
and
Stitches
also
South was the same weekend.
Interweave and YarnCon. If you
Mhm.
go to YarnCon, you have to give Becca and Carrie and Sarah hugs for me. Sarah does amazing yarn. She's punky.
You
Another
should probably
crafty
introduce
girl.
yourself before you physically assault them.
No, you should just assault
That's
them.
an idea.
It'll be so much more fun. uh, anyway, we will see y'all next week.
Yep.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.